Hello, everybody. Welcome to Manifestation Theory, our amazing podcast show. And this show intended to showcase to you wonderful people, successful stories for you to apply in your manifestation journey. And today we are so honored to have our wonderful guest, Dr. Roland Victor from SkyClinic. Dr. Roland is not only a medical doctor, he is also a remarkable influencer in Malaysia, guys. As a general practitioner with interest in hormones, particularly in men's health, he brings a wealth of knowledge and also created a greater impact in people's life. After completing his medical degree, Dr. Roland pursued a master's in public healthcare management, further expanding his expertise. With over 15 years of experience in both government and private practice in Malaysia, he has established himself as a leading figure in the field of health and wellness. Currently, he serves as the key resident medical doctor at KL SkyClinic, Kuala Lumpur's first ever lifestyle and wellness clinic. Dr. Roland stands out for his utmost commitment to human wellness. He is an advocate of lifestyle-based wellness for individuals. His approach focuses on natural and sustainable health practices, bringing significant transformation in humans' lives. And we are so proud and honored, like I said, and so excited to welcome Dr. Roland today.
What's up? Hello, how are y'all?
We are doing
Been
great,
a long time
doctor.
since we met, a couple of months, I guess.
Yes, it has
Time
been
flies,
long.
right?
Actually.
It's
How about
quite
So
you?
long.
it's nice to know that you also have a podcast.
Thanks
Inspired from you.
Thank you.
I
Thank
think the moment you first invited Mangala into the podcast, so then the idea came to us. Why not we start with ours? Actually,
That's good. That's good. I think we need to have that different kind of dynamics.
Yeah,
And-
you
and-
brought in visibility for us. Like after that, people recognized us a lot, and then we have also called from another person for a podcast, and
Good.
then we realized like, okay, we should. do it.
Nice.
Thank you so much for that.
Welcome.
Yeah, and you wanted to share about our first meet.
Yeah, I mean, like it was a great experience and honor to meet you guys in the KL SkyClinic. And also, it was a very curious thing that time. That's the time we were like wondering, where is this kind of like-minded people in our life?
In
And
the
then-
sky.
In the sky, yes. so you guys have invited us, and then there was a very great conversation which we had while we were going through our journey, and also we were feeling kind of like, oh, why are we only having this kind of ideas, and where are those kind of people? So that has manifested us, and also you have came into our life, and you have made a greater impact to our life as well, like to bring us into your clinic, and then we were helping your patients, and also it did made a lot of difference in those
know.
people's lives as
Great.
well.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Great to hear that.
Yes, and we would like to share this, guys. We was thinking like only us speaking this language, which is like speaking about how emotional health is affecting physical health and everything. Then when we hear from them, it was like a validation for us, as well as we felt like there are so many things unspoken. And today we would like to really share about it to all of you, right? That goes to my first question, which is like, how do you think emotional blocks is creating issues physiologically, especially the common one that we see in intimacy issue, which is like PCOS in women, vaginismus, and also erectile dysfunction in men. So tell us about it based on your experience.
So, being a general practitioner with special interest in hormones and lifestyle, we of course first begin looking at symptoms and diagnosis, and you see today's modern medicine is always based on let's get you into a blood test, let's get you into a machine, but not actually expand that conversation with the patient and give the patient to actually be grilled by us sometimes. I'll say like, I'm going to ask you the hard questions, or I'm going to guide you through this series of question and answers that actually gets me to a certain point where I feel that, look, it's beyond what I'm just going to just get you on a blood work and or maybe send you for an ultrasound or CT scan and see whether we pick something up. That's why I started digging and said, hey, look, there's a lot of components that the frontline medicine is not seeing, which is the psychological perspective, the emotional compass of medicine. And as I started exploring in hormones. Right? I think decently the past 12 years lah. And that ventured into like looking into men's health, females' health, reproductive, and of course that there is a segment of sexual health inside that. Then I started looking into like, hey, there's something we're not seeing enough, or not something discussed in length, which is the psychological perspective. And then I started digging into this psychoendocrinology stuff and said like, wow, why are we not looking at this? Why are we not looking into this emotional position, whether there is regression, whether there's trauma, whether there's anxiety, whether there's even some misunderstandings that are in the relationship that is actually leading to all of these issues. And I started exploring that more and more, and I realized that, look, there is a component of emotional impact on the situation of vaginismus. I think you mentioned that many times on a personal capacity. You mentioned that, and then we look at ED. Also, there is a component of the psychological component.
Yep.
There is even in premature ejaculation, sexual anxiety when it comes to couples who have been maybe attached or married for a decent length of time, and then they find it hard to get pregnant, and then there's this anxiety they're building. It's like, look, are we running out of time, or we have to get some action done at this junction of time in my ovulation cycle? I'm ovulating now, but you are far away. See, all of this, there is a mixed emotion in going on, and I really see that. The more I dig into it, the more deeper it gets. The more deeper it gets, the more I start seeing like, wow, how come nobody's talking about this? And I start also creating a lot of awareness on this thing to even like, I'm going to go for a talk. I'm going to share these kind of things, to physicians, so that they also can look at these kind of things to think about, like an outbox position. I love that.
Yeah, because we saw in our common pattern, we saw how is it manifesting, especially PCOS manifesting for those people who is having passive anger within themselves. So it's manifesting into a PCOS, and then the vaginismus is more of like a anger they have outside, and anxiety they have within inside, that they closing their self because of the domestic violence they had been through with their father and stuff, and then it's manifests into vaginismus.
That's one part of it. There's also like so many patterns we can see. Like like I have this theory that, look, the females of the 80s, 90s were technically put into this capitalist agenda that you have to go to work. In order to be successful, that you have to be in the job market, not like you have to be a mother, a wife, maybe a guide or assisting your elderly parents.
Yeah.
No, this thing is not. Look, that's all not important. The success of female, the yardstick is now like how fast you can climb that corporate ladder, or how fast you can go and venture into business and be successful. So that had never existed in the maybe in the 70s, the 60s. No, we're not saying that women cannot go into all of this, but where is that narrative, the balance? So women are technically driven into all of this, and the body is so amazing to say like, "Look, shut the hell up and give me all my male hormones. Send it. Send it down to my adrenal glands. Wherever I can make androgenic hormones, make it. I want my DHEA, I want my testosterone. No estrogen, you're not needed at that point. We can work with testosterone, because it's going to give me that male repo. Like if I don't have period, wouldn't it be better? I wouldn't have a cascade of deranged emotion, which
Those
I might
3
happen.
days where
Exactly. And I don't have cramps, I don't have this, I don't have that. Look, I can operate like a male. I can work until late night. So that's what the corporate world would want you to do. Answer emails at 11:59 at night.
It's not only corporate ladder. They people are entrepreneurs as well. They wanted to make sure that the business is going to be successful, and what they put all the effort inside, but then they don't really see what is that effort is manifesting into the value in life, right? So they don't really see the value actually. So they just work, and
You
they
see, the
don't
value
concentrate.
now is in just in digits and numbers. See, the value of a successful person is not evaluated on based on how he or she perceived in the public, how they maybe establish a family or a union or a relationship, or whether the relationship is past or current or future. They're not seeing that. They're not
Yeah.
seeing that. They're just seeing like, look, if it can be recorded in a physical number or in the bank, or maybe I get a pangkat of Dato Tan Sri title, I am considered as successful.
That also making me the curious to ask you, right? So this is more of like creating angry women, basically. Like whatever we have seen in our client datas, whatever we are seeing is more like there are lots of angry women are being created through this whole process, and they are internalizing all those anger and having lots of physiological condition. On the other hand, it also creating a lot of sad men deep inside. They are grieving. They are so sad. How do you think that is affecting them in their health? What are they going through?
Okay, so very good question, and this the mismatch lah. This is where, like, let's say like you look at it as an angry kind of thing. I don't want to use the word angry. I think, see, females are technically built on this maternal instinct drive. Okay, so when you reach some form of like monarchy, and if you look 100 years ago, of course, we had like grandparents who were married at the age of 13,
16,
14,
14,
16.
yeah.
Okay. But then the greatest question I ask is, why did the biology of a human being got the introduction of the first monarchy or the first period cycle at that given point? It didn't. That means that the body actually showed a form of maturity, that this flower is like sexually available at that point, or even in males, maybe a bit later by a year or two, maybe 15 to 17 is the decent amount of maturity, and maybe spermatogenesis, and they have their response, the biological, the
Yeah.
physical, secondary sexual characteristics, everything
Will
appear.
start to develop.
But it was all normal 100 years ago. But today there is some form of restriction. Of course, we want to look at, okay, all kids, male, female, follow through some form of secondary education and not focus on being pregnant and stuff. Agree with that. But you are denying that biological response for like pushing a very concrete relationship 10 to 15 years out of the zone. Wouldn't the body have some form of, like you mentioned, like there's a form of maybe maternal frustration? There could be some form of sexual frustration, and this sexual frustration then leads to also context of the moral compass. Then you can spice it up with some religious compass coming in. No, you cannot do this, you cannot do that, this is wrong, that is right.
Yeah.
So look at then you open up this complexity now. Okay, that's female. Okay, male, it's like this hunting kind of mode. I mean, of course, a human male doesn't have like a heat time and stuff like that. It's not like, oh, this is mating season. It's like mating season is technically 24 hours, 7 days a week for me.
Whenever you are in a cave.
Exactly. So in that pretext, you get to understand that weaker man position, or what sometimes this incels community and everything. They got glamour names for it or not. This, like, you see, like they're not getting attention of a date. They're not getting attention if you are just like you are ordinary. But maybe I don't know whether that is also part of our being. Whether we want to think about ourselves as a thinking animal or something. the stats are very interesting. 80% of the women want 20% of the men. They want that top tier guy. But you're not going to see that at 15 or 17. So some maybe you can. You are the top athlete. You are the quarterback of your team. You are the captain of your football team. You get noticed by girls. Even at that point, you get noticed. You might have a chance to go on a date. With the whole, everybody wants you. But what about the boy who gets like the last guy in the class, the shy one? Where do they go? Sometimes that kind of form of shyness, and they're not there to represent themselves. They are having this inferiority complex, a lack of confidence. Then sometimes this can end up brewing 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, and then they're like 25. Look, no girl's gonna look at me. I don't dress well. I don't earn enough. I don't have enough a repo degree. I cannot stand up to that. So then this will be like the leftover. This will be like the depressed side of a man. So you don't expect testosterone to be high in a guy like that, even at 25. No way. Yeah, and then there could be it. Then that can even spread to whether they go into a rage. Crime, or absolutely on the other side of the spectrum, close the book. I'm
Done.
a loser.
I'm a loser. Exactly.
Silencing their emotions, and then they feel that I don't deserve love. But they always come from a place of like, you know what, I have enough love to give, but then no woman is accepting me. So they will only speak it with themselves or with this is creating a connections with the men circle. They are always only discussing among them. There is no connection with another woman to express them. It's the same goes to the women as well. Those women who are always looking for the 20% of men, those women's only connecting and then speaking with them. They're not really connecting with the other men.
But at the end of the day, I don't blame women for being that. Women biologically, whether human or not human species, you want to go down the amphibian or reptilian
Birds, reptiles,
are
same.
selective. They have to choose. They choose the mate. They choose the mate.
Yeah.
Males are there to just show off. Look, I got a big horn. I got a big, I got a big trunk. Look, you want or not? so at the biological, I like to look into nature a lot.
Correct.
To actually understand and look, because sometimes we're looking at things like always on this
Knowledge
very legal
perspective.
knowledge perspective. But if you look back at nature and look and say, hey, why is it so? I mean, how much of genetic makeup we are bringing? We have taken from that basic element of just no tax, no education, just purely biological instinct, and that's the answer. That's the answer.
Oh, that's a whole different perspective.
It doesn't need another podcast.
We would love to have it. Going into that even more, right? Like you said, they either go into this extreme or the other extreme. Either they become rage or abusing, committing towards crime, or the other extreme, I'm a loser. So how do you think this aspect of this metabolic disease of diabetes or obesity or hypertension is linking towards this scenario?
Okay, so if you look into we go down that realm, it's very simple. If you're going to be not in public, you're not going to put yourself out there, you're not going to hunt, and you're going to sit down in the cave alone, no man's not going to be like, look, if you're going to sit there, you're not coming out with the boys. It's like men, like it's like a repo kind of thing. You need to earn your stripes, or I always said in Malay, you need to earn your paku. Okay, you need to earn your stripes. Look, that is when you get that reputation. No guy, I give a very good analogy. No guy walks into the gym, underweight, skinny as hell. The guys in the gym who has been there for the past 10 years are going to look at you. No. The first thing you're going to show is you're going to show that even for at least for 1 year, you show up every time and they observe, oh, this guy is coming. Only then they will probably come say, you want to train or not? It'll probably take like 1 year. They won't even come to you. They won't even want to shake your hand. It's like, you know what? Screw you, stay there. You're not ready yet for the big boys. That's how males work. And it's a fact. So when you look at this, metabolic syndrome, yeah, you're gonna sit down at home, not eat, no skill, mother's boy maybe, best scenario. It's got food's coming, you know, you're all alone. And imagine if you're going to college, you're going to university and stuff like that, you just be on by yourself. So depressed, comfort food, high sugar, high carbs, high salt, it's gonna keep you comfort, high sweet drinks and canned drinks and stuff, stay at home. And that happens. The metabolic syndrome goes whack. And it's like you start to understand like that being in that cave, it's not like a pause. It's like being in the cave and now digging another ravine down and going down. The cave is going deeper and deeper underground.
Oh, so it's kind of like they are in the underground of the cave, not in the cave.
Basement of the cave.
Exactly. Cave lab basement. So it's like look, it's even worse. Or maybe if we look at the Thai analogy, they got the cave, then suddenly the rain comes, they get drowned.
Oh,
So it's like another problem comes in. Look, you stay there. Look, when
With this kind of state, they go and try to treat themselves, taking up pills, women and men, right? They're taking up pills, a lot of pills to try to regulate themselves, but it's leading to somewhere else. So what do you think is the side effects is happening right now?
you see, if you want to look at least they're going to seek therapy, right? I would say like yes, there's some people who are really very depressed to a certain point that look, I think they might need some form of medical intervention, whether it's going to be prescription medication or some herbs. I mean, it's not wrong, but I think again, it also comes back to the therapy pattern itself. It's like, okay, what's going to be the approach? Because I think what's lacking in STEM is the like a multiple module where there is some form of congregation of experts. It's not like I'm gonna leave it to Roland or gonna leave it to one psychiatrist and no, it cannot. I can't. I don't have. I would not have the enough skill to juggle it. Yeah, we need to have like sort of like a set of guys who's looking at this. Is what we need to plan doing. But the issue now comes in that the cost. Are you expecting someone who is in this situation can spend that much of money to get that much of experts to come in to help? That's a big problem. There is not enough funds, whether in a government or private, of course lah, or a non NGO perspective to come in and say, look, we can throw 5 experts on you. Nah, take it. We want to pull you out from this cave. That's a big thing. You see, if you have someone who is like,
so that's the part of it which you are talking about, the people who are depressed. What about the people who are anxious? Because those people will be always there in the market. They wanted to spend more, and then they are taking more medications, and then they are keep on consuming more medications, but then they are not aligning their being, as you said. They're not really aligning.
I've seen
their
some
flower.
weird treatment for their body weight and everything. They insert balloon this so that they don't eat, they starve, and all these things are happening, right? So we felt like, where are they actually leading to? What is this anxiousness is actually leading them to go into a place of?
So that's another side effect, right? This side is the depressive side effect, which is we cannot help them because we don't have enough money. But then there's people who has enough money, but then they have a side effect, which is like they keep hurting their body and wellness.
Feels
right?
like they're
yeah,
tapping.
see again that brings to like this multidisciplinary approach. If we have example, if you see, like you see when you mentioned about the balloon or any other therapy, like the famous new ones like Ozempic and stuff. Okay. So let's just give an example. A female, 28 years old, maybe has an accounting degree or masters or professional qualification like ACCA. She worked like 4 years, slogged into the big 4 just to get that. Oh, I've got that big 4 on my tag, and now she's out. But she's now 100 kgs.
Mm.
You know what? Everybody's gonna walk out and tell her, "Look, you got all of this degree. Now you got cash. You can buy one house. You got a decent, very solid income. Time to get married." Of course, she knows maybe it's the time, but what's a fallback now? Can she fall into the attention of the 20% of men who we define as successful men? The answer is no. She knows no. What's she going to do? She wants a quick fix. For her, time sensitive. Then her option will be, okay, let's search which clinic can fix my problem.
Quickly.
Okay? Fix my problem. So you go in, you just go in. Your objective is, I want to lose weight. Okay. I don't want to sacrifice my opportunity in business or entrepreneurship. I'm a chartered accountant. I want to do all of this. I can work until 10 o'clock at night because I'm 28. Or 12 o'clock. I can even take meetings at night. I can work for another time zone. The boss says, tell me jump how high. She will jump. But I want this thing fixed. So, of course, the offer card on the table, oh yeah, we have this balloon. We have this injectable. We have this. We just take.
Suctions.
Yeah, you can go for surgery. You can go for all of this because see, all of these products are deemed legal. There's also another perspective. Hey, I can use. These people are professional people. They can insert for me. They can do liposuction. They can do this. They can do that. So I would not say like, look, you can't. I would not say you can't do it. Of course, significant tests and success stories and risk over benefit over risk in this kind of procedure. But there's also another thing that I think through this process, there's a need for understanding, okay, what happens after this? Now, if you lose 20 kgs or 30 kgs in the next 1 year, you'll be 29. Were you going to be happy or not? Are you going to promise yourself some form of discipline? That is not just by eating and everything, but how you organize yourself. Because you're doing this for the next journey. Doing this for now, like going into that relationship market and seeing whether if I go out there, I will find a sort of a male penguin partner there, out there who is and will be attracted to me and to whatever I bring to the table at that point. Is it fair for her or wrong? I think it's still fair. But at the same time, there's also need to have also that form of like example like what you all do and coaches do that look, once you lose that weight, now how you going to install the discipline? Once you lose that weight, are you planning for a next journey? And what is the next journey? Are you going to be just there to get or lure the relationship in, and then I'll go back and do what I want to do? Then the problem comes.
Then again, it goes back to the same disciplinary thing, which is like time sensitive. Again, the time sensitive comes in. I want to get back to work, but not relationship. So it's kind of like they always create the boxes within them, and then trying to fix the problem within the boxes. They don't really see us as a holistic being who has a life. I mean, like the life is missing. The essence of life is missing. Rather than we only see this box, this box, this box. Okay, if I spend this much of hard time with myself, eventually I'm going to get there. But then that eventually the time doesn't going to come in, right? Because that's what happened to me actually. So where I was trying to grow in my corporate ladder, but then eventually the time never comes to me until, as you said, like until I choose a discipline, saying that, you know what, I have to give time for myself, for my health and for my wealth and also for my relationship. Correct. Until I don't balance it, it's never going to come to your table.
You're right.
Right. And that is why, let's say this scenario is a very best scenario. They go into the market, they find a relationship, they go into the relationship. And then they're facing the issue of intimacy. They can't connect with the partner. They don't know how to dream with the partner. They don't know how to be having intimacy with the partner. And then they can't also commit 100% in the relationship. So what kind of issues that you're seeing among your patients in terms of especially intimacy?
Well, it's a big question. I think let me break it down
Yes,
to
yes,
the
please.
small segments. I think the first thing I think we're looking into is like I feel like maybe some people when they find or they are in a relationship, whether they're in love or they just it's a arranged relationship, and then they start to understand each other better. I mean, all these possibilities are there in our society. The responsibility of being in that commitment, I think, will be a very important key. So whether you see if you are a dad, I mean, can you allow yourself to slack when you have like young kids? You can't. You will understand that, look, for the next 20 years of your life, that you have to put them at your best interest, and you have to also maintain like your health and fitness and wealth and everything is also uh, done accordingly in order to sustain the operation. But if you are having kids for 30 years old, 40 years old, that they are taking care of you, it's a different scenario at that point. So same goes even in the relationship. So I mean, like, if we allow our partners to slack, whether male or female, and then put the blame on oh, you have ED, or you have PE, or you have a female has no libido. Maybe vaginismus might be an early onset of thing, but that can be sorted out. So many therapies and things be done. Then you have no libido after like 5 years in the relationship. Who is to blame? Who is to blame? I mean, like sometimes there is a lack of discussion. Sometimes there is you slack. I also want to slack. So then you lose the flame. You lose the flame there's no spice element. I mean, I use this a lot with my patients, like especially some couples who come in and there is some form of either sexual issue or I think just take with sexual issue. So what happens is you start asking them like, look, how often you all are intimate, or whether you are in a long distance relationship, or you are too busy with work, or it's just like it's a rat race. You chase, sail, or business deal. You're traveling here, traveling there. I have to be working in Singapore, and then my wife is in Ipoh, and I only come back like once a month. What are you expecting? You're expecting like the wife expecting like he's coming in with no pads from JB to KL? No, it's like not like that. It's not like that. The guy is stressed, traveling at 100 kilometers per hour, right to Ipoh by car. You think his sympathetic system is on a drive? Of course. Then you expect, hey, why you cannot perform? I've been waiting for you so long for the past 5 hours thinking about you, fantasizing about you, and he's not up. And then just straight away, he comes back just for a couple of days. And then what happens is like, oh, you know what? I think, are you having an affair in Ipoh?
Yeah.
So these kind of statements also makes the water even more murkier.
I think the affair has been a oversold concept, because I mean, like,
It's an easy towel to throw in.
yeah, it's easy towel to throw in, and also it's easy for the others who can get benefit out of it, right? So that is the one thing which we see common in our therapy.
Do you
as well.
think? Do you all think that that's an easy victim card? It's an easy victim. Just throw this.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
like what we saw this victim card is that they will have all this while they will have this separation issue. They will never
They
get
never
intimate. They
talk
will never
about
have
it.
a spice up in their relationship. So the moment suddenly some person enters into their life, then they will find that victim card, and then they will want to. Basically, they wanted to escape from the relationship for so long.
But just to blame the other
But
person.
this one trigger, they were waiting until the point it happens. After that, they throw the card and then say that, you know what, you have an affair, you're not worthy of a being, and then they just wanted to slip away from that, right? So as I said, it's right. Actually, basically, we are not looking at our relationship as an spice up experience, rather than we always coming from a place of responsibility and commitment, and then attention time. I mean, like, it's just that every time when you ask them, like, have you eaten, that is a very big thing. But it's not actually. There's relationship is beyond that. Anyone can ask you, your mom can ask you, your friend can ask you, have you eaten, right? But there is no spice up in the relationship. So what kind of things will happen when there is no spice up in relationship? What kind of hormonal imbalance will be happening for this male
I
and
think
female?
then relationship becomes a job. I feel it comes to a job. But you feel like, you wake up, you take your kids, you drive them, and then you leave to work, and then you're back home. If both partners are working, your tendency to eat outside is there. So there's nothing like
Like-
nothing fantastic or not. There's no wow element. And then if they just both of the partners feel like, okay, you know what, let's get some action tonight. It's just a quickie thing and then finish. So I would always ask my patients sometimes, especially when couples, in terms of like some of them have like fertility issues. So sometimes I get them into a couple of series of questions. Like some questions I tell them, look, I've got to be really curious to know like what happens in the bedroom. And some of them is like nothing, there's no spice element, even though they don't have kids. They just like, it's just them in their own space, their own house. Very boring story. So then I asked him like, look, do you remember the time that if you were like 10 years married, remember the time you used to date? How meticulous you are in your texting.
It's a
It's not like-
curiosity, right? They
Yeah,
wanted
it's
to
like-
know more about them. It's a curiosity building up.
So you
on
see,
the
so you see that there's no, the curiosity like sort of like ended when you signed the contract. When you signed marriage.
exactly.
There's no, so sometimes it also looks like business, you know.
Yeah.
Because you see, sometimes when you engage a service, right, it also looks at the service provider like, how do they do that tango dance with you? I mean, do they want to explore more business, more opportunity, or they want to understand, they want to see like how they can make you better, or they want to look at like self improvement, or look, no, I signed for this, I just want this only, I don't want anything else.
Beyond that.
Yeah, so that is also a problem on this spice element. So there's no tax, there's no surprise element which sometimes like women look forward to. The guys are always like, you know what, here, this room, that's it. Nothing else. There's no like build up kind of thing. But the days when you were dating, it was so different. So why that element was like, you're so eager to see each other. There's like, you want to like treat, no, I'm cooking something at home for you tonight, surprise. It's a
Yeah, I
date
think-
night like that, even though we have like kids or something. So that element,
I think
Missing.
I think you rightly pointed out about job as a, it's becoming a culture, right? Even for the coaches, they only wake up after they are 35 years or 40 years old. That's when they are waking up, their life is miserable, right? Because they really don't have a plan. After you get into the job, once you get into one higher position, what is your retirement plan, or what is that? You needed to spice up your life in your job as well as in the marriage, right? So once you get into a marriage, done. There is no other element after that. It's kind of like your life
kids,
is done.
kids.
You are settled, kids, and then you're settled, right? But the settlement is what I feel as well. It's the same culture. It's happening in the job as well, in here as well. But where they don't really see what is the next level of growth.
But-
what is that they need to learn about it? What is that curiosity?
True.
There is lack of knowledge in that actually.
True. That we and what we're discussing is still like a uni marriage or a uni relationship, like one relationship signed in the 30s or early 20s, and then till happy ever after. But there's also another scenario that we see, that the issue of a polygamous relationship. There's also issues where there is separation, where both parties whether male or female, can also go into a relationship yo-yo or a very yo-yo emotional swing of moving from one relationship, uh, dusting out all the troubles, settling the relationship, and then maybe have a refractory time and going into another relationship or not. So even that is sometimes it is part of the mental health, the the manifestation, whether they want to be in the next relationship or they just, you know what, I'm done one, I'm not doing it again. This bungee jumping here kind of thing. So that is also another thing. Sometimes like I see like some people carrying their past trauma into the next relationship, comparing. Oh, last time my ex husband was like this. Last time my ex wife was like this. So
Exactly.
So that
kinda-
becomes their memorized emotions, right? They're not
so
they're not being a human being.
That makes you think like, are they always going for the same pattern of people that they want that same person replicated in another body?
It's a physical body. They are seeing different context, but their energy body is just living the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
They're repeating
Because
again
that's
and
what
again.
they like.
I think we should explain about what is refractory period, right? It is nothing but your body's chemical will be working in the same pattern for such a long time, and then you want to repeat the pattern. It's like the going up and then coming down.
down.
Switch
So-
on. All the
so-
guilty emotion comes out. All the guilty chemicals, shameful chemicals
Yes.
will comes out, and that feels normalized to them. That feels immune. That's normal. This is how my life is, and they go on.
And then
go.
they feel like, you know what, just move on lah. Just go on with life in that.
I mean, like, this is how my life is, and then they are not extending their manifestation into the next level of they can think differently, they can make different choices. They
Rewire your
rewire
body.
your
Rewire
body.
your mind.
But on the contrary, we also have to see that, look, there is so much of fabric of network of one's journey to just say, like, you know what, just move on. It's just not easy to move on like that. I mean, I sometimes like salute people who are in that, who have been through like 2 or 3 separations. It's like kudos to them, like to like just like pull themselves out, because sometimes you have trauma. If you don't have trauma, fantastic. Then you have responsibility, you have offspring responsibility, and then like if you are female and maybe you have dedicated your life as a mother at home, and then something like this happens to you, and then like, wow.
Yeah, I think this is again leads back to the disciplinary part which you have spoke about earlier, right? Because for me, it was a disciplinary act I have done for my healing through my healing journey, right? Because it wasn't easy actually. It required a lot of time and investment for me to the courses which I learned, to the healing journey I have been through. It required a lot of time actually. So many of us don't have the time for us to heal actually. So it's kind of like we always keep ourselves busy and distracting and diverging into many act, but we don't really have time
Pause
to
and reflect
pause
to
and
heal.
reflect to help our trauma actually. So that's one of the key thing which I learned in my journey actually, because even in our coaches sometimes they were unable to turn up for the sessions. It is because they don't have a time, because if they lose the time, then they cannot even earn the money, which is the baseline. They always in an anxious state actually.
Yeah.
Right.
So, how does a very beautiful, intimate relationship look like?
Wow. I thought I should be asking you.
Okay. Oh, Ken. We will share our other perspective, right?
I think there's going to be a blend of a lot of element. Maybe if we're talking about myself personally, maybe I feel that there's going to be a lot of accountability. There's going to be a lot of respect of your relationship. Being that the respect comes in a compass of being honest. You understand your parameters, because you can be lured to a lot of things in this modern world. We're looking at that, keeping that. I think sometimes like sparking that memory. Looking at, sometimes you need to like retrospectively look at yourself,
Wow.
going back in time and seeing like where this relationship sparked, and where it is at the moment, and where is it going to go. I think so. I think that brings some form of excitement, some form of there's hope. There is something you look forward to. There's a future kind of thing. What you're gonna do? That expansion of the family union, the kids, your relationship growth. Of course, sometimes you got to see like some chores is like brushing your teeth every day. You're gonna do it lah, whether you like it or not. So it's like that. Some position, my wife is absolutely right. I don't want to stir it. It's like that. Even though you feel like no, it's a dumb idea, but you're like, okay, fine. Like that. It's sometimes you need to lose the win also, and then you cannot be like, I did that lah. It was not me lah. That kind of thing. But that is the commitment of relationships, and you need to trust your team. You need to trust your partner. You need to trust that thing. So, but like you said, so that
It's
trust,
more of like we call that trust the process.
trust the process. Trust the process.
Trust the
One,
partner.
but also you must understand like also trust like who you with. But that at the same time, there's also exclusion. Sometimes people are betrayed. People are denied that kind of hope. They thought they married this what there's like a fantasy marriage, but then it looks like, oh look, all rotten inside, and then they feel they want to escape the marriage because maybe the marriage could be dangerous to them, life threatening. Are we supposed to tell the person, no, just stay there, trust the process? We cannot use that. We will not be able to include that as a subset or trust the person. If he's bullying you or he's abusing you physically, no, just stay there. Just be.
No, those ones we don't even consider as a relationship because that's an abusive
It's
relationship.
like treating
which is a
inhuman already.
Yeah.
Going down from the
Yeah,
place.
exactly. So I in terms of that question, I think trust will be a very big element because whether you want to be intimate with someone and you want to grow, you put everything on the line. I think as both partners. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but I think you need to understand that the growth is the biggest win that you have to take.
Wow, beautifully
Beautifully
said.
said.
You have incorporated whatever we used to share about the three things you can share.
Yeah, you share, please share.
So
Yeah.
we actually kind of like about the commitment. It goes back to the point whatever you have said about the retrospect back and then see the whole commitment. Why did we started the commitment, right? And then the second one would be the intimacy, because intimacy is the intimacy is not only the sexual intimacy, it's more of like emotional intimacy, financial intimacy, spiritual intimacy, and also the intellectual intimacy as well. So because that is the piece of it where you are accepting that other person as they are is what the very deep intimacy you can ever have. And then it goes back to the curiosity about our future, which is the dreams which you have talked about, right? So it's always the same equation. It's just that the words and flavors will be putting in different contexts and different ways, but it's always the same three elements which will be keeping the intimacy very closer actually.
Yeah.
I see.
And the dreams is nothing but the growth as well.
Yeah, like you said, you retrospect as well as get excited about what are the things that you're going to create in your life. Expansion energy, that's so beautiful. Just one more thing I want to ask about, right? This is also commonly we see autoimmune diseases in patients. So what do you think could be the cause, and what is the underlying emotional aspect to it or the lifestyle aspect to it? How is that going?
Okay. This is not my personal experience, but what I see with during practice. And I actually explored this during the pandemic time. Actually, just looking into Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine. You see, we use a lot of clinical markers like anti-nuclear antibody testing, all this antibody kind of testings we have today. But how did physicians a long time ago look at this? But I think your question is going to be like look into the manifestation perspective. So like how does this emotion relationship affect into autoimmune issues? Yeah, so I wouldn't want to just like pinpoint. There's many factors.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at emotional perspective, we look into the limbic system as a whole. Your amygdala, your frontal lobe, and then it leads to your memory gland on top, and then goes into the pituitary. Okay, so there you start realizing that an autoimmune issue, is it manifested one, or is it the body trying to tell you something that is going to go and tag certain organ and say that, look, you wake up, you are not doing or not being, or why is the body attacking itself
Yep.
at that moment? For example, if you look in Chinese medicine or Ayurvedic medicine, you see there's a lot of the element of chakra alignment.
Yep.
Head, people get heartburns and everything, but ancient physicians will look at it as, look, your solar plexus is tight, you're having indigestion issues, you're having thing. Then you start digging, asking the patient, you have or not all of these kind of things? Do you have anything that you have not sorted? There's some form of vengeance here and there, certain business deal, or you have some vengeance with your mother-in-law and stuff like that. Then they tell you like, oh God. Then you start. Then you just leave it aside first. You still focus on the diagnosis and then see whether any of these puzzles you can arrange. Big thing during pandemic. I define this as voicelessness. Wearing mask was a sign of
Wow.
shut up.
Yeah.
Don't just take the orders.
Yeah.
And until today, people do that. So and when you try to do that, wearing something is a representation. Whether it's female, the dress code, male dress code, a formal function, anything. So whatever you put on your body, you actually represent what you represent, what I represent. It's just like if we look, we know already. Oh, this kind of people, this is their perspective, this is their aura. Why do military people wear those kind of uniform? It is a representation. It's an external representation. Like, don't come. Look, I'm a soldier. I'm a warrior. You mess. I'm trained to combat. Would you go around and pick a fight? You think twice immediately. That's the
Yeah.
facade already put. So also when it comes to this thing is thyroid, autoimmune issues related to thyroid was very high because you were trying to obstruct something. And thyroid, based on ancient medicine practice, was a representation of voice chakra,
Yeah.
vocal representation. So when you shut something like that, the body starts to go and auto attack those regions lah. You're trying to cover up something. You're trying to hide maybe your femininity. You're trying to attack. You're going on this berserk diet, and sometimes there's even autoimmune issues with
So it's-
insulin and stuff like that too.
It's a suppressed energy towards others. It's hurting
Internalized.
back. It is hurting
Why?
you.
This is on the first place. How did the immune system go and? I mean, it's almost like you have a sovereign country with a proper military system, and then suddenly you have like one of the barracks going berserk. They go out and they attack their own civilian. So it doesn't make sense, right? Because it's so structured, so well coordinated, right? Why? What happened? What happened to the psyche of that barrack? What provoked them to do that? The same thing is in our body's representation. So you see, if the command center, who is the command center? The brain. It's an emotional representation. If you try to hide something, you feel that there's some form of sexual urge, desire, and everything, and then you're trying to shut it. You're gonna wear 20 layers of clothes, but that energy inside, it's like just wants to go out, wants to leash out. Of course, we are structured as civilized humans. We don't go and just like, hey,
can't.
we're gonna think.
Yeah.
No, it's there is that form of courting, bonding, and then you climb that interest ladder. But when you look at autoimmune, so you start seeing all of these kind of patterns. whether it's PCOS, whether it's a thing, there is some form of sexual connection. Immunity is like a whole game that we still don't understand enough. And pandemic has really showed like whatever I'm fighting for in the front line as like a Rambo at the moment out there shows that look, we didn't understand a lot of things.
We
And when we
didn't
started
understand our
to
intelligence, body's intelligence.
yeah, exactly. The memory of an immune system which is more than 500 million years. I'm just like whatever immune system from dinosaurs, we have it in our body also. So how fantastic system, but how the immune system goes also and attacks us, the possibility is there. So sometimes how do we also in our practice, how we think about how to get the body to raise a white flag. Okay, look, we don't want to be in some form of confrontation now. We need to settle this. We need to settle this. Sometimes it's a physical settlement. Sometimes it's a genetic mutation that took place. Sometimes it's an emotional situation. Sometimes we need to use certain medications like steroids or something to calm the storm down. Look, ceasefire. Let's cease fire first and let's find where the root cause is, because we don't want it to travel around. And even the big C, cancer, it's also an immune system issue. It is an immune system. Some cells go wild in the body, and then the immune system cannot. It's either evading the immune system or it's saying the same. Look, you cannot beat me. My gang is way bigger in this police district zone that your balai cannot handle this. It's the same thing.
Exactly.
Same thing.
Wow.
So we are almost coming to the conclusion of
Yeah,
our
yeah.
session.
It felt like you just started.
Yeah, it feels so good. Like when you explain diving deeper, because we really wanted this to be hear from you, to be shared to the world from you, from your voice, obviously, because it gives immense amount of how do I say, in-depth knowledge as well as experience, which is like people may need to understand about it so that they can do a self-check, a reflection. What am I actually feeling inside, and I'm suppressing it and I'm seeing it in my body. Like you said, the chakras, it's basically that's the thing that we have been sharing a lot, where what are the emotion going to store in that particular chakra, how does it hyperstimulate that organ and every cells and make it to go haywire. So that is what
Or
happening.
hypostimulation.
Or
True.
hypostimulation.
It's going to be always a hyper and hypo. But it's always like an axis of balance. lah. And this is something that what we do a lot in our practice. See, our practice is a lifestyle and wellness clinic. It's really an outbox kind of thing. We really want to go to the end point and say like how we're going to sort our patients, whether or not whether they can afford it or not afford it. But I think the biggest thing that what we will do for our patients is to actually open up the Pandora's box and get them to think. So if we're not, see, our biggest role is as a teacher to educate the people to take care of themselves or take care of their health journey or life journey. So it's going to be definitely a lot of the body, mind and spirit. We of course have to look into the body a lot. We have a lot of technology to look into the body. But we don't have enough of depth in understanding the mind. That body mind takes them into another position of the soul of our life. That is your journey. We can only show you that. Of course, we are living in a time so blessed with a lot of technology, a lot of medical science knowledge. We never saw this. We are at the really cutting edge of a lot of things, and we in our practice, so we get to kickstart a lot of things. When something new comes, look, we can be the ones. So like, oh, we're gonna try this approach. We're gonna try this medication. We're gonna try this therapy, and we're lucky to do that, to actually assist our patients in all of this health and wellness journey.
That is what I was about to ask. How is SkyClinic approach towards this? And what are the current things you are doing these days? I saw you going for talks. And
Yeah,
workshops
in
every
fact,
state.
this year it's our 10th year in practice, SkyClinic. So I've been there for past 10 years, and I think one thing we wanted to do is actually to go out to the whole of the country if we can, We've done Sarawak, we've done Johor. We're going to go end of this month to Alostar and then KK. Then we plan to have a trip to the east coast of Peninsula. And we will do like the whole east coast within this couple of days. And then we will also look to have like a big one in KL. We're thinking about September, October this year to have like a mega event like that. So we might have like maybe not one day is not enough
Yeah.
to get people to understand. Sometimes some people are healthy, and then they think that no, I don't need any of things. So fine, it's they don't have any issues. They're happy with life, and maybe just their routine medical checkups are okay. But I think what we want, they need to be people. We need to educate people so they can educate more people. I think that's one. We can't duplicate ourselves. Myself, Dr. Sashi, are probably one of a kind, rare species around.
Yes, you guys are.
Rare species of physicians. But yeah, that's our medical journey that we're taking on.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing.
Welcome.
Lots of love and respect for both of you for doing this.
Thank you.
And we are looking forward for the KL event actually.
Oh, great.
You would want
Great.
to share it to our people?
Sure.
Community of people.
It's a very, very interesting because I always tell people KL is our home ground. Our home ground. Okay? So what we're doing is we're actually going away. We're going away to other states to actually get them to understand the new things. I mean, of course, some people have medical issues. They get to speak to us. We always spend almost like a day. We even have like an after event kind of thing, chit chat session, certain hot topics. We even also I talk a lot about I like to use my experience in healthcare management and look, okay, what's going to happen next? What we're looking in the next 5 years, 10 years into health system. What you going to anticipate? What you need to prepare? Because when it comes, you can say, oh, it came. I don't know what to do. We have learned a lot in the past few years. A lot of things have been covered. A lot of things have been discussed. It's constantly evolving. People are beginning to be a bit more serious in terms of taking care of their health. In terms of whether it's a current situation, longevity, emotion. People are exploring. They never explored maybe mental health therapies before. It was not available. But now this segment is also growing. People are looking to seek help. People are there searching, yearning for this kind of therapies. And they know that even though they have sat with many physicians, hundreds of blood tests, procedures and everything, but this was the thing that the physicians were not like, hey, I think you need to look into the mental health, or the physician need to help. Just let me buy you coffee and have a chit chat with you as a regular. I'm not the doctor, you are not the patient, and just have a
they
casual
have a lack of
conversation.
time as well. It's because of the supply versus demand, right?
I know, that's a big problem.
They have a lack of time also because as you said, those days when I go to my doctors, they have a lot of time to chit chat. But these days we don't have a lot of time to chit chat because of the lack of time actually.
So I think to fix that problem, we need to get younger people healthier fast. We need to because it's much more easy to settle the small fires quickly, and then have they have to be like a demarcation. We sort the younger generation, the ones that who are now having a lot of serious firefighting. We have to send in the experts too.
Yeah, I think that's the same vision we also had. We went and explored the older people and also the very early age young people.
Millennials.
Millennials, it's not helping them. Rather, if you impact the
Gen Zs.
not Gen Zs, the people who are getting into a relationship.
Yeah.
We wanted to help them so that the next relationship is going to get better and better. So actually, so that's the vision also connecting us actually.
Yeah. We can break some cycle and provide a beautiful space to nurture themselves and live their life.
Understand.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
And thank you so much for this whole episode. And also, we would highly recommend you guys to go for the wellness based thinking and also healing, right?
Yeah.
And that is going to help you in long term. It's not going to only fix your problem temporarily, it's going to help you in long term, and it's going to shift your life with a transformation journey and also manifestation journey, right? And if you guys needed any help, you guys can always reach out to us actually. So we're having actually a collaboration since 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's great, doctor, and thank you so much for us for helping us, and we were able to help those couples you have sent us as well, and also the individuals who needed help, we were able to help them as well, and they're seeing good results actually.
Great. Thank you for seeing them also.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Doctor. Thank you, everybody. See you on in next episode.